chatting with you about a huge nomination. CCMAs have announced their nominations for the upcoming award show, and you have been nominated for. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about your nomination?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I think it's one of the more unique awards. It's the Innovation Award. So the whole point of it is to shed light on people that have been really innovative in the live sector. And this past year is really important for that because live shows weren't really a thing. So you had to be very creative. And so I'm very grateful and honored to be considered in that mix.
So the reason that you were considered in that mix, of course, is because you had a lot of, we're just going to say live shows, but they were a little bit different with, the restrictions that we had in place. So what did you do to allow these live shows to continue while still maintaining safety for everyone?
Yeah, so we started doing drive-in shows, and we were actually the first ones to do one in Saskatchewan. Almost the first to do it in Canada, but Brett Kissel had a matinee on the same day in Edmonton.
Oh, no.
And so we had the same day, but he beat me by about 2 hours. But yeah. Anyways, so it is pretty cool that that him and I were the first in Canada to do a drive-in show, and then we took it a step further than a lot of people, and we did a full tour of them. We ended up doing 13 shows between June and December, and they were all perfectly socially distanced and safety protocols, and everyone was able to stay in their vehicles. They listened on FM, or they could sit on their tailgate and enjoy the show that way. But it was a way to provide a safe way to get out and enjoy some music, because we needed to play and people wanted to listen. So I think it worked out pretty well.
And of course, with that live concert element, you never know what you're going to get. So if it's pre-recorded, there's still that chance that little pieces have been removed, to get that perfect quality show. But with the way that you did it, you still get that element of you never know what you're going to get.
Oh yeah, you never know. We had some crazy times. We did a couple Christmas shows actually in Estevan. And that was interesting, playing an outdoor show in December. It was -20, crazy wind. And then middle of summer, we had a thunderstorm and a tornado warning. And we actually started the show with a full tarp covering the front of the stage.
Oh,
So you
wow.
couldn't see us, but you could hear us because the wind was blowing the rain straight into the stage. And so we were covered from all sides. Middle of the show, we were able to drop it. So it was kind of like a grand reveal, I guess. But we adapted to the situations, and we said those shows going to happen, rain, shine, tornado warning, and all.
Let's go back to the very first one you did, to fast forward to, let's just say, double digits. What are some of the key things that you learned along the way that really helped you to develop that drive-in concert experience?
Yeah, so it was definitely a learning curve. The first one we did, biggest thing was just the setup and the crew involved, because we started with a bit of a skeleton crew, and we continued with that, but even smaller than we probably should have, because I found out that there was just a lot more going on, because we were running both an FM transmitter for people to listen in their cars and your normal sound system.
Yeah.
And our first plan was, well, we can just kind of run them together. It'll work fine. But that was very wrong. So after the first show, we realized that we need two separate sound engineers, one for the FM, one for the sound system. And there was just a whole bunch of extra logistics. There was figuring out what radio frequencies were taken up in the area, how to aim the antenna, where's the best placement for the antenna, what the setup for the venue is going to be, because we didn't usually know until we pulled up that day. And so we thought, okay, so there's like a big boulevard right there. So we have to aim this way and people park that way. So there was just a lot of logistical things that you don't normally deal with a regular show. But it became pretty easy after the first, like, I would say four 4 or 5, we kind of got into a groove. We knew what we were doing. We knew what we needed when we needed it. And so it went pretty smoothly after that.
So you said there was thunderstorms and things like that. Was there anything else major that you guys had to overcome?
No, the biggest thing was just changing restrictions.
Yeah.
Because we worked really closely with the government and health authority to make sure that we were complying with restrictions and making sure that we were keeping the audience safe as well as ourselves and the crew, because we didn't want to put anybody at risk. And so we were constantly talking with them, and restrictions were changing all the time. There was from one show we could have a small amount of people socially distanced at like picnic tables in front of the stage, and then in the next show you can't have anything. Everyone has to be locked in their vehicles. And so it was changing with that and working with organizers and the government and going back and forth. And I huge thank you to my management team for handling that side of things and talking with the government, because it took a lot of people to put this tour on. And I definitely am thankful that I had some good people in my corner.
So before you actually did your first drive-in show, were you part of the whole like going on Zoom and doing some concerts and some shows as well, or did you go straight to the drive-in?
No, definitely did some online stuff. For the first part of the pandemic into like March and whenever that was, I was doing quite a few request hours, where I'd go on like Instagram Live or Facebook Live and take requests. And it was just fun for me to pass the time. And then it was like, okay, I'm tired of playing for a screen. I can't see anybody. People could comment, but it's not the same as reacting. So I thought we got to do something different. I need to play. I need to get out on a stage. And that's when we thought of the drive-in thing.
So being in front of people, obviously, as a crowd, there's an energy that you're able to absorb from. And so that obviously, if you're in front of a screen, that is where you're missing out on that energy, intake. So with them being, you said sometimes they got to come out, sometimes they didn't, but worst case scenario, not allowed to come out of their vehicles, still a whole lot better than being in front of the video, I imagine.
Definitely. Yeah, the surprising thing actually, after like the first show, I kind of got used to this different kind of vibe that was at the show. So I could still feel that there was an energy and you could still interact with the crowd. Biggest thing was just I had to learn, instead of singing along, I got people to honk along. So that was different. But other than that, really, there was still there was an energy, there was feedback. That's a big thing as a live performer, is you want to have a little bit of feedback. And it helps you kind of gauge where you're at, what you're doing, if you're what you need to change to make it a better experience. And so when you're doing things virtually, you're lacking that majorly. And so even though people were separated by windshields from me, you could still feel something, and it was definitely a whole lot better.
Yeah, seeing those reactions, even if you can't hear them, versus like seeing it as a comment on your live feed, definitely.
Exactly.
So with this, I know there's a voting process that people that want to support you. You want to talk a little bit about how we can help you out to try to win this award?
Yeah, definitely. So I have just some posts on my social media. You can definitely share it. Voting is for CCMA members only, but the more people that are talking about it, the better, because then anybody that's a CCMA member that you might know or sees your posts, they can see it and maybe consider voting for me. So I definitely appreciate any shares and engagement on social media.
All right, perfect. Well, we'll make sure to get those links brought over to you to make it super easy for everyone just to click, go, and they'll be able to help you out with that. Let's just quickly chat about the same year. Any new music that you released during all of this crazy?
Yeah, I actually ended up with a new single last year, and I can't believe it has been a year since I released it, called Miles Ago. And we did a music video for it, and that was a very different experience, because it was a small production, being that it was just me and a dancer and then the choreographer. So we all kind of self-isolated during the pre-production process and the filming process, so that everyone was safe. And then we were able to work together very easily. But it was a fun experience because I had to learn how to dance, and a 6'3" bull riding cowboy from the valley is not exactly graceful, we'll say. But the choreographer made me look like I kind of knew what I was doing, and my dance partner also made it look like I knew kind of why I was there. So I definitely have them to thank. But yeah, if anybody wants to check it out, it's called Miles Ago.
Excuse me. Now I'm actually going to check it out to check out your dancing, just so you know.
Sounds great.
Well, is there anything else we should talk about with this nomination that you've received with CCMA and kind of how it all came to be?
I think we covered everything. I just definitely want to thank everybody that was a part of making the shows happen, and just talking it up and promoting it, making it bigger than I could have imagined, because it blew up. Last year, it went from just doing a couple shows to we booked a whole tour, and we had lots of media support and everybody talking about it. So it's just a really cool thing, and I'm very honored to be recognized for it.
Anything we can look forward to for upcoming, whether it's drive-in shows at -20 in December, or hoping for some top 40, 40 aboves later today?
Yeah, well, my band and I talked, and they said they'll go on strike if we do another winter show. So as far as that goes right now, there's no plans for drive-ins, but we are going to start working on new music. And we have some really big plans for summer of next year. So we'll definitely keep everybody posted. So stay tuned.
Thank you so much for your time with me today, Justin. And I hope that this is going to help you to win that award up, because that would be just absolutely fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.